But I think most important thing that we have to remember is actually not about the tech and it's not about the price.
What is it?
It is about virtual reality sickness. Have you
Yeah.
heard? Do you get sick when you use virtual
I
reality?
used to when the first time I tried it, it was like a strange experience.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. So actually, like, virtual like reality sickness or the motion sickness you get from it, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's haunting me throughout, even though I try to like push up my tolerance. So I remember the first time I tried virtual reality, it's like 8 years ago. I was at a friend's house for a birthday party, and he was one of those like really early movers that had gotten this equipment. It was majorly expensive, and I tried, almost one of the most famous where it's the roller coaster. And I had been drinking, so that didn't help. And I put them on, and it was like this crazy roller coaster, and I actually fell backwards. Like I fell all the way backwards because I felt so sick.
Wow.
And it's common that some people feel nausea, they have to throw up, they get dizzy. So they generally feel just like motion sickness if you get it in general. But now, I have some classes at home, and there I can do like 5 to 7 minutes, and then I get sick. Whereas like my husband, he can keep them on for like all night. Or even maybe sometimes after like an hour, he just feels a little bit like loss of sense of direction.
Yeah.
But my son Elliot, who loves whales and dinosaurs. We've been doing this like very scary one with dinosaurs. He can do the same as me, like a couple of minutes, and then he begins to I have to kind of like hold him and make sure he doesn't fall. So actually, if we're saying that there's a future for virtual reality, how are we actually going to handle it when it seems like there's a significant portion of the population that suffers from virtual reality sickness?
Yeah. I had a funny experience. Back in the years, I used to work at the Danish Technical University, and we did this like showroom presenting people with virtual reality and to experience it. Like these were the earliest years of virtual reality, and there was a student who got on the roller coaster you're talking about. It was on a PlayStation, and he had such fun. He was like, it was something natural to him. He had fun. He didn't have any problems with it. But then his mother was with him, and he asked her to put the goggles on. The moment she put them on and we launched the roller coaster, she started tripping like it's another universe. She started losing herself. Like it wasn't just scary. It was scary and something more. It was like a complete different experience to her body. So it was very
and
strange.
actually, I think that's interesting because I know in Denmark there have been studies that have shown the successful use of virtual reality with vulnerable groups as a form of therapy. But I think that there's so much around that. We just designed some chatbots at CanopyLAB, and we did a lot of the literature about how people who are a little bit vulnerable, if they see a chatbot and they think it's a real person. So some of our chatbots, our AI chatbots, are modeled on me and our learning designer Lisa. And because it's a real picture of a person, they might associate it with a real person. And the literature is super, like very, very in agreement on this, that it's important that you don't give them the illusion of it being a real person, because they might also try to form a relationship with the bot or ask it things, even, if they begin to be like suicidal and things like that. So we both had to make it, there was an ethical choice about making it clear that this is not reality, but also we did quite a lot of work with putting in like mental health guidelines and COVID guidelines in our bots to make sure that they foster mental health. And I think that people who already have a difficult time could have a very difficult time if they work with virtual reality, and also children. When Elliot first tried virtual reality around 3, and I normally don't let him really use it, so sometimes I'll let him just see what it is, but he can't just like use it, like you maybe give your child an iPad. He definitely at the age of 3 could not distinguish about that not being reality.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I'll say even now that he's 4, almost 5, sometimes he'll watch something on television and say, one day he's like, "Mom, can't you just do magic?" Or like, why can't you just snap your fingers and a cake comes like they do in the film,
Oh,
and then we have to explain like difference between reality. So I think that these formats can make it real difficult. And then there's a lot of like ethical discussions around like what age is it actually appropriate to be using this format with children. And I don't think that there's a kind of a universal answer to that yet.